んよ。静まりなさい。コスモよ。成功セプター。
Happy holidays, guys. Today we'll be doing another Legend Rank Galactic Duel showcase, this time featuring the newest SS character, Athena. We'll go over what I think about her, what I think her role is, and how I tend to use her. We'll also explain some sample team comps for her, and then we'll spectate 2 games that I played with her. We'll keep it to 2 games for these videos because we don't want to have the videos be too long. We'll just keep them at a reasonable length. Alright, let's get started by talking about what she can do. So, as with the previous video, I'm not going to explain the exact details of her skills and her mechanics. For that, you could just read the skill descriptions in the game. But I will provide a higher level overview of what she does and her role in the team. So her role is to provide 2 energy once every few turns, and conditionally she can give even more energy if her blessed ally gets attacked. And then later on in the game, as more energy have been used, she then becomes a consistent single target damage dealer, cosmos damage, and she can also execute targets that are at low health. Usually how she goes for me is, in the first 2 turns, she generates 2 energy and then just waits. But starting from turn 3, she can start sniping people that your team already softened up. When she dies, she can become a ghost for a few turns, and that ghost can do everything she can normally do, except she can't be damaged. I think crowd control still works on her, so like taunts and silences, but I'm not 100% sure. So in terms of team building, she's very flexible and she can go in many different comps. To me, she's more of a super powered Kiki that doesn't generate energy every turn but can do a lot of damage later on in the game. Instead of building around her, I usually put her in as a late game threat and early game support to supplement other core units. So I'll show you 2 sample team comps that I usually use with her, and I'll demonstrate them in the games that are coming up after this. The first one is Luna, Kiki, Athena, Cannon, and 2 big Cosmos DPS. So with Athena, you can have 8 energy turn 1 to use for some kind of cannon combo. The most straightforward damage dealers being Arashaka and Poseidon for the AoE damage. And I'll show this comp in my first video. So the second comp I like to use her in is Athena, Ikki, God Ikki, Jamian, E-Saga, and 2 other flexible picks. So the sequencing here is E-Saga will counter someone, consume all your energy, and then Athena will give you 2 energy, which is just enough for Ikki to transform, and then Jamian will follow that up by healing Ikki to full. And this is usually quite easy to mess up if your opponents crowd control you, or if one of your opponent's units cut in between Athena and Ikki and triggers E-Saga's counter, which is why you want both Athena and God Ikki to be as fast as possible. Okay, I think that's enough theoretical stuff for now. Let's go into the games and start looking at some real-life situations with her. Alright, let's go into our first game here. When I recorded this, my past 2 wins were with Milo and E-Saga. So, to surprise the opponent, I wanted to use a cannon comp, and to feature for this video, I wanted to use Athena. So, in the end, I ended up using the new version of Cannon Arashaka Clap, which I used a lot before with Misty, but The only reason I used Misty before was because I could put Rock on Misty and have Misty be used for both energy generation and disruption. What Misty could do is get you 7 energy on turn 1, which means you can combo Cannon with Poseidon on turn 1 if you get lucky. And then you can combo Cannon with Arashaka the turn after. But now with Athena, we are guaranteed 8 energy on turn 1, which means we can combo Cannon with Arashaka right away. However, we trade away Misty's disruption and damage reflection for Athena's energy generation and late game power. What will happen a lot before with Misty is that once Arashaka dies because he's pretty squishy, you only have one true damage dealer left, which is Poseidon. And with just Poseidon and Cannon, it's kind of hard to finish off the team if the enemy team still has a lot of units left. But with this one, Athena can actually be a huge late game threat. Because this comp is so much better at closing out games, I think it's more consistent when the enemy is not anticipating Cannon. Also, sorry for the long turns. I think my internet connection was pretty bad when I was playing this game. With this first turn, they don't have many big damage threats, and they don't have any crowd control to disrupt us. So we'll just generate 8 energy here with double Kiki into Athena, and then have Cannon triangle Poseidon because he's the last one to go, and use Arashaka's second skill. With Poseidon, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna build up some damage using his Thunder basic skill. We could have also used Poseidon's summon to decrease one of their guys' defense, but I thought it was better to just build up his damage and close out the game as fast as we can. Mu's first shield is not going to do much to our strategy because one shield will not give enough reflect damage to threaten us at all. And the best thing that the opponent here can hope for is getting his Hades to Eclipse mode and start one-shotting our guys because we don't have June. So the obvious turn 2 play for me would be to exile Poseidon and try to one-shot their team by having Poseidon wave and then Arashaka use his AoE basic attack. But the opponent clearly sees this and puts up 2 shields on any target except for Poseidon. So the reason why he doesn't put his shield on Poseidon here is because Poseidon is dead anyways. Athena's scepter will kill or execute Poseidon even with a wall because her scepter ignores walls, shields, revives, Dragon Tooth, anything like that. As long as that particular target is below a certain HP threshold. And at level 5, that's 35%. I decided to play it safe by sniping off Poseidon, exiling Hades to delay him a turn, and mostly avoid Mu's walls. I try to freeze Mu with my Poseidon because I know doing damage to that one wall won't really give him that much reflect damage next turn. And I just wanted to try to buy some time to start AoEing his entire team and finishing off the game. being an entire unit ahead right now and having Athena already at 0 cost scepter means it's going to take a lot for him to win this game at this point. If I don't mess up, the game is pretty much won. Now I'm just playing extra safe to hide my cannon from their Athena, because their Athena can two-shot my cannon if I give them the chance. All I have to do here is just keep exiling either his Mu or his Hades and avoid getting one-shotted by Athena and end the game in a few turns. Interesting enough, the opponent decides not to vying with June. I guess he didn't think that I could double Athena, which I didn't, but had I doubled Athena, one of his units would have been one-shotted this turn. So at this point, I think the opponent is just hoping that he can get a huge Mu reflect damage off, and it's probably his only chance. He thinks I'm just gonna exile his Hades every single turn, and that could have happened and I could have won doing that, but instead I decided to just set his Hades up for Athena's snipe next turn and exile the Mu and go for some AoEs. This is actually pretty embarrassing, but as you'll see, I completely fucked up my turn with Poseidon. What I was thinking at the time was Arashaka's second skill is up again and I need to save my 4 energy for his huge clap. So instead of just waving with Poseidon, I decided to do a basic attack followed by some other random thing that didn't cost energy, which in this case was the summon. But I didn't realize that the Arashaka second skill wasn't even up yet. And I ended up kind of wasting this opportunity to get a bunch of AoE damage on him. Either way, this game is pretty much over. I just need to snipe Hades off next turn and then deal with Athena and Mu after that. But because I have a cannon, I'm only going to have to deal with one of them at a time. And he doesn't have any window of opportunity to counterattack until his Athena is fully built up and gets 2 attacks a turn. But it's too little too late for the opponent. I think he recognized this and surrenders soon after. Okay, our second game here is against our favorite guild leader, Anon again, this time featuring a different variation of the canon Arashaka clap comp that we just used. This time he uses Hades as the supplementary damage dealer. I banned out Jamian in this case because it was the one unit that were common in both his lineups, and I didn't want him to have any sustain. I wanted to go for a grindier comp where we use Misty to disrupt the opponent, Athena to provide early energy as well as late game threat, and Poseidon with support using Crystal Seed as well as late game AoEs, and then E-Saga just for the raw damage. Because my Misty is going before both his energy generators as well as his cannons, I can easily disrupt his combo and delay it by a full turn here. As you can see, my Misty gets a taunt off on the Kiki, and he will only have access to 4 energy this turn. So he either has to triangle and not do anything else, or clap with Arashaka, which means his subsequent turns will have a lot less damage, or just Eclipse with Hades and risk getting one-shotted by my E-Saga. This is why speed is so important in this game. Even though characters like E-Saga slow the entire pace of the battle down, speed is still so important to get the right setups first, to get the right CCs out first. So here we can see that he's trying to decide on what to do exactly after having only 4 energy available to him turn 1. I think he made the best choice that he could by delaying his combo, putting the Bloody Hell on E-Saga, and setting up the Eclipse on Hades. And he hides his Kiki for the maximum chances of getting off his combo next turn. Instead of crystal seeding, because there's no clear targets that will get hit a lot next turn, I'm just gonna split lightning to get some damage on his team and soften them up. My E-Saga is gonna go for this Hades and set him up to be sniped down by Athena next turn. And I made a mistake here by putting Ares' Brutality on the Hades instead of the cannon, but I think I'm pretty confident at this point that I will not be threatened by his strategy. Now I double Misty to try to get another disruption off on their cannon to stop him from comboing another turn. Unfortunately, that does not happen. So we just one-shot the Hades here and prepare to get our ass comboed by Cannon and Arashaka. He's gonna exile the E-Saga because that's the only correct choice, or else his Arashaka will die. Fortunately, our E-Saga is healthy enough that even if he does die from the combo, the rest of our team will not take too much damage. Next turn, all we really have to do is just finish off the Arashaka and hope that his Athena does not get out of control. So against units without that much health, you can double Athena, get an initial scepter to do some damage, get up to that HP threshold, and then finish it off. And this is exactly what we do here to the Arashaka, as you'll see in a moment. Now the game is pretty much over. All we have to do is finish off the rest of the guys before the Athena can really do some damage to our team. But because it's 4v6 at this point, we're not going to have to worry too much. Continuing to use Split Lightning because that's my most damaging AoE skill under 3 energy. Especially with June on our side and his cannon looking to die this turn, it's going to be very hard for him to make a comeback with just Athena. Trying to check his Athena skill levels here to see how likely it is for her to turn into a ghost, but the button is kind of finicky sometimes and takes a while to bring up the menu. His Athena didn't even turn into a ghost, unfortunately for him. And I think he just surrenders here. Alright, that's it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be doing a PvE video later for Legion Boss. This will be showcasing teams for both the C version of the game and the global version of the game. The main difference being the availability of God Phoenix Ikki. I will probably just showcase all the different teams that are pretty good and pretty popular, and then run through a sample Legion boss with the team that I'm currently using.